Our next lesson in College Planner is why choose a particular school. Let's go ahead and take out your notes. Let's go ahead and write today's date. And this lesson is called Why Choose a Particular School. Okay, our goal for this lesson is to identify important factors to consider when choosing a college. Okay, I'm scrolling through here. I don't see any vocabulary words. Okay, so why choose a particular school? So have you ever heard the saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there? What do you think it means? How does that saying apply to your college plans? Well, let's find out. If you don't know who you are and what you want out of your education, any college will do. Most of us have some sort of idea of what we're looking for, but still, choosing a particular school may seem like an overwhelming task. There are thousands of universities and colleges to choose from, hundreds of majors, hundreds of cities and towns to live in. Once you've narrowed down your choices from like 30,000 schools to, let's say, 50 or so, it's time to start getting serious. Or for some, there may not be any work involved at all. They believe they already know where they want to attend. But how do you know if the schools you're considering are going to meet your needs? Well, in this lesson, you'll learn about some great guidelines to consider when selecting your school. Now, we started out with the question, why? Why do you want to attend college? What are your educational goals? If you plan on becoming a veterinarian, it would be wise to go where a pre-veterinary program is offered. If you intend to be an archaeologist, you'll want to go where you can study about archaeology. That's common sense. But you'd be surprised by the number of students who select a college for all the wrong reasons totally unrelated to their educational plans. So one of the first things many students are concerned about is the size of the school. Okay, so this is one of the first questions that we need to ask. In a study done by the Chronicle of Higher Education, 32% of the students polled said that size was one of the most important factors in choosing a school. Is it too big, too small? Will I be able to meet lots of people? Will I just be a number at a big university? Will I be able to get enough personal attention if I'm having academic trouble? In fact, the differences between large and small schools isn't always that dramatic. When you consider the fact that most of your time will be spent with a relatively small group of people in your own dormitories, your major, and maybe a college brotherhood, sisterhood, or a social club, you probably won't have trouble meeting people or making friends. As for getting the academic help you need, you'll be more responsible than ever to meet with your professors and ask your questions. You'll find that the older you get, the more responsible for your own learning. In college, initiative is the name of the game. So even if it's a large school, you're still with a relatively small group of people. Well, I don't know, my nephew went to Victory, and each of his classes were very large. They were so large I didn't even bother taking attendance. He said there were 1,000 people in every class. I don't know, to me that would be too large, but maybe that's something that you would like. Wouldn't it be great if you could just pack up all your friends from your high school years and head off to college together? Well, you probably can't. Having a friend around might make the first few weeks go a little smoother. Okay. friends. So the next question will be friends. You'd have a built-in friend and wouldn't feel so lonely or overwhelmed. But the thing to remember is that you will meet people at college. You'll make new friends. You'll probably develop new interests. Just because your best friend is going to a certain school is probably not the best reason to choose the same school, even though a lot of people do. That goes for your boyfriend or girlfriend too. Don't make the mistake of compromising your educational goals and your own needs just to be close to someone. If the relationship is strong, then it will withstand some time apart. Consider a school that offers what you need academically, spiritually, and socially. Okay, so don't go somewhere just because your friends are. Okay. Choose a school. I forgot my thing. Choose a school that offers what you need academically, spiritually, and socially. That offers what you need academically, spiritually, and socially. Okay, why choose a particular school? We were talking about looking at the size of the school. Don't worry about taking friends with you. You will meet people there. And a good note to remember is choose a school that offers what you need academically, spiritually, and socially. Okay, let's talk about the faculty. This is an area where many students don't even bother to look. According to the same work that we talked about, Chronicle of Higher Education study mentioned above, fewer than half the students surveyed said that a college academic reputation was important in choosing a school. Do all the professors have PhDs? Does it matter? Perhaps the more important question to ask is, can the professors teach incoming freshmen and make the subjects understandable? Sometimes a scholar with several advanced degrees knows his subjects thoroughly, but doesn't have the rapport with students to help them understand it. The best way to find the answer to this question is with a campus visit. Sit in on a class in your expected major. See if the professor can teach at a level that's understandable, yet challenging. If you have a hard time comprehending the material, remember, you're still a year or two younger than most of the class. See if most of the students are getting it. Ask them for their evaluations of the professors. Don't ask who's your favorite professor. What you really want to know is, can this professor help me understand the topic? Okay, as a high schooler, you have 3 college days where you can cut school. You can use a school day to go visit colleges. I have to have proof that that's where you are. And these are some of the things that you want to do when you visit a college. Okay, you want to check the faculty. You want to know if the professors are educated and if they can teach it to you. Okay? Are they educated? In other words, do they know the material? And just like it said, just because somebody knows it doesn't mean that they know how to teach it. Okay? can they teach, can they, second, can they make the material, well, I'm shaking it, aren't I? Can they make the material understandable and challenging? Okay. Another area to look at when we're looking at a school is the housing. And this is a major one. Another factor to consider is the school's facilities for student housing. There is a huge variety of options. Some schools, especially community colleges, don't offer any at all. Some of the most worldly universities have co-ed dorms, with girls on one floor and boys on the next, or even all together on the same floor. Can you see how this leads to all sorts of sinful temptations? Okay, so you want to know what kind of housing do they offer. How many roommates do you want? Depending on the school, you may be able to choose from having 1, 2, or 3 roommates, or maybe even having a private room. Private rooms aren't very likely, though. Is privacy an issue? You may end up sharing bathroom facilities with as many as a dozen others. Do you plan to live on campus or off? Some schools require freshmen to live on campus, especially a lot of your Christian colleges. Some of the more conservative colleges require all single full-time students to live on campus. How much space will you have in your dorm room? Will you be able to bring all of your favorite possessions, or is space a premium? Well, I'm sure that you can't bring everything with you no matter where you go. Okay, so some of the things that you need to look at with housing is, first of all, do they offer housing? Do they offer it? Do they offer housing? Okay, is it co-ed? Will you have to have roommates? You know, how many? Okay, so when you go look at a college, these are some of the things that you want to know. You want to look at the faculty. Remember, go in, sit in a class. Ask yourself, you know, does the faculty, do the professors seem educated? Can they make the material understandable and challenging? What about the housing? Do they offer housing? Is it co-ed? Well, you have to have roommates. You know, how many? Okay. Another thing we need to look at when we look at colleges is the cost, and that's probably the main thing. We probably knew this one. I'm pretty sure you all knew that you would have to figure out how much it cost. They probably should have put this one first. Cost. Oh, sorry. Money is definitely a factor when choosing a college. When we get to Unit 4 of this course, it'll discuss financial aid, but for right now, let's look at some numbers. In 2006, the average annual price for a 4-year public university was $12,796. In 2006, the average annual price for a 4-year private college was a little over $30,000. You do the math. When you figure that most students take 4.5 to 5 years to graduate, that's a lot of cash. Okay, now we've been talking about the study done by the Chronicle of Higher Education, and it tells us that 65.1% of students are concerned about how they're going to pay for college. So here are some questions to consider. How much will your parents be able to contribute toward your education? Do you plan on being a full-time student or working part-time and studying part-time? Have you thought about seeking cooperative work or working on a paid internship? These opportunities are usually for upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, after they've had some basic training in their field. It's a chance to set the books aside, at least part-time, and get some hands-on experience. Of course, summer jobs are a great opportunity to earn some money towards your schooling. Obviously, you won't be able to earn your entire year's tuition in just 3 months' time. But if you're a good steward for your resources and you're able to earn more than minimum wage, don't be surprised if you start college in the fall with $2,000 or more. At most schools, that's enough for your books and supplies for the whole year, plus enough left over for spending money for a few months. Okay? Alright, I want you to go ahead and let me see your notes, and then you can go ahead and answer the questions.